Alright everybody, how's it going? It is Coach Malcolm. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of puzzle solving on the LiChess platform. My LiChess rating is 2149, so higher than my rating, but that's kind of normal when you do puzzles on platforms like LiChess, ChessKid, Chess Tempo, whatever you're using. Your rating for puzzles tends to be higher than your actual rating. So these puzzles are going to be in the sort of intermediate advanced range. Sometimes they change when I do them. I find that a lot of times LiChess has a spree of easy problems and then some really difficult ones. Sometimes it's all mixed in. We're just going to see how it goes. But I'm just going to be sort of describing, how these puzzles are going. What am I thinking about? And hopefully we get some right. And, maybe we'll get some wrong as well. And that will be okay as well. Anyways, let us get started. The puzzle just played rook to c8. Obviously, I was attacking that rook, the previous move with my queen. But it looks like we have a pretty even position here. 2, 4, 6, 7 pawns, 3, 6, 7 pawns each. All right, so it's completely even. So what am I going to do? The first thing I'm drawn to is this bishop b5 move, right? Creating this pin with the queen, but also sort of seeing through to that king as well. And my queen is already there as a defender. And if my opponent tries something like knight a5 to attack my own queen, I'm just going to get to take on d7 with check. And I really don't see how my opponent's going to get to guard that c6 knight. I already have two attackers on it, so bishop b5, that's the right move. Rook b8, I'm not going to take with my bishop, because if I play bishop takes, rook takes b7, bishop takes d7, king takes, and we've each gotten a piece and a queen. So I'm going to... Okay, well, actually, if I play queen takes c6, and then rook takes b5, we've each gotten a piece. So queen takes c6, rook takes b5. Could I play queen a8 there? It looks like after, maybe even king e7 or just queen d8. I don't know how much play I'm going to have, but if I play bishop takes c6, this may be the answer, actually. It looks like, you see what I can do here? I'm just completely missing this. I can just take this rook on b8 after the knight takes back. I use my pin, get my queen back, and I'm up material here. They're likely just going to take back. And now we've each got 3 minor pieces. They've got the extra minor, but I have, I'm up in exchange, and it looks like a pawn or two. I'm not exactly sure. No, maybe the pawns stayed the same. The pawns stayed the same. Okay, so I won in exchange. All right, let's go on to our next puzzle. All right, we got some 10 rating points from that. All right, bishop to h4. Let's do some material checking again. I always, when I start my puzzles, and I recommend you do this strategy as well, because when you're in your game, right, when you're playing a real game, you've played the whole game, right? So this is a 16-move game to get to this point. LiChess gives me the whole game. But if I was really playing this game in a real tournament, first of all, I wouldn't know, I wouldn't have someone telling me there's a tactic right here, but I would have a much better understanding of the position. I would know, why my pieces are on the squares they are, what the exact material is. When I just get to a puzzle, they throw me into move 16 right away. I always take that second, take a minute almost every time at least, unless it's like a super simple mate in one, to just assess the position, assess the material, so I can have a better sense of what I'm working with. So, that being said, we've each got 3 minor pieces. Again, we've got a pretty equal position. It looks like points are for sure equal. I do have these kind of double pawns in the middle, which I don't know if they're annoying yet because they're isolated, or if they're going to be pretty cool because of the sort of central influence that they hold in this game. But anyways, we've got bishop h5. A couple things I'm noticing. This knight on d2 is hanging. This bishop on h4 is hanging, especially this bishop on h4, because maybe I'll have a discovery here, moving that knight and getting a little play in by taking that bishop. But anyways, I also am noticing that this queen on f3 looks like she could be very susceptible to being trapped. So I'm looking at pawn g5. This bishop is going to save itself, so it's going to go back to g3. And then if I play bishop to g4, my d5 pawn is going to be guarded by my knight and my queen at the same time. And I don't believe that queen has any moves. Our pawn is going to do a good job guarding that f4 escape square. So why don't we try it out? Pawn to g5. Bishop takes. Okay, so they're going to play bishop takes in order to save their queen. But in this case, we're just going to get an extra piece. We're going to be up a piece. But like I said, let's just take a look. If bishop g5, then right. Bishop g4. I mean, you see the computer says -7. Their best move, whatever. Rook over. But the point is, our pawn did a great job, getting that tempo, getting the bishop out of the way, guarding this f4 square as well. This bishop takes away all these squares. Our pawns turn out to be super good. taking these key squares from the queen. I mean, we could go through this all day. This queen has no squares. You know, if she takes, we'll take back. We're up a queen here, and this is going to be a pretty easy chess game to finish off. All right, we got 21 points from that. Awesome. All right, especially captures, guys. You know, this is just going back to my last point. When you get thrown into a puzzle, I'm on move 24. If my piece gets captured, I take a second. I analyze the position even before the capture. So before it's even the puzzle position, let's take a look. We've got, it looks like I'm up a piece here, but I know they're going to take back. We've got 2, 4, 6 pawns for black, 2, 4, 6 pawns for white. All right, so now after knight takes g5, now I know the material is equal, but I also see that I have the opportunity to take back on g5 if I want. Maybe it's the answer, maybe it's not. What are other things I'm noticing? Well, if I take, let's just take a look at pawn takes g5. It's the most obvious move. If I don't take that pawn on g5, I could be running into trouble with some discoveries with this knight to e6 or something, or knight e4, something like that, because this queen is going to open up and deliver check. But anyways, so h takes g5, interesting to look at. It looks like if the h-pawn takes back, that's not going to be a great move. I'm just going to move my bishop to g6 or something. Then I'll be up a piece. The real question is, pawn takes g5. If queen takes g5, am I in danger there? Right now I'm thinking, not too bad. If I play bishop g6, I obviously stop the check. That h-pawn isn't there anymore. So if pawn takes, oh, the h-pawn is there, sorry. H takes, queen takes, bishop g6, h5 there could be just a little tricky to deal with because they're trying to take that bishop on g6. But if I play h takes g5, queen takes g5, I don't really want to move my king. Then I just lose my bishop on h5. Doesn't look like I've made a lot of progress. Bishop g6, h5, and I can't play h6 there because then queen takes g6. All right, maybe we'll come back to this. Maybe we won't. Maybe in that position I could try a rook f5, and then the point of rook f5 is I'm attacking this e5 knight and moving the queen out of the way. And if pawn pushes to h6, well, then my bishop isn't in trouble anymore. If you guys are having trouble picturing this, try and pause it. But I'm sure you know, I don't want to make the moves because if I'm wrong, then we're gonna get the puzzle wrong. But pawn takes g5 looks like a good option for now. I just want to see if there's any other moves. I'd like to be sure, you know, when I'm solving these puzzles. I would like to play a move like rook e8, you know, because this rook on e1 would be pinned. But like I said, something like knight e4 would just be devastating there, attacking my queen, putting me in check, and I can't even block with something like queen g6 because of this knight on e5, you know, guarding that square, attacking that square, whatever you want to call it. So rook e8 doesn't look like it's going to work. I think I definitely need to get in the way of this. All right, and I'm going to try my pawn takes. All right, best move. Okay, they're going to play h takes, which I'm not even sure if I got to calculate this. No, I believe I played bishop g6, and it looked like we were all good. I think I'm going to stick with that. Bishop g6, knight takes. Now the question is queen takes g6 or h takes g6. So the pro of queen takes g6 is I get out of the way of this sort of pin right here, but I don't really have a problem with that. Or king takes g6, but obviously I'm not going to play king takes g6 because rook h6 is going to get me into a bit of a skewer. So queen takes g6. I don't really have a problem with h takes g6. You know, but the only thing I may be worried about is something like queen h3 sort of coming down hard on this open file. So I think I'm going to go with queen takes g6. Right. Rook h6. All right, this is a long variation. We've got our 3 moves in. Rook h6. You know, obviously attacking my queen. I can't take on g5, of course, right? The queen is guarding that. Where is my queen going to go? I could go to f5 or f7. I think my opponent's idea here is to move their queen over to h2 or h3 and try and make some play on that h7 square. So I really want to guard that square. So I'm really looking at this queen f5 move. But the you know, the tricky thing about this puzzle, it looks like, you know, what is the difference between queen f5, queen c2? They're both attacking this f2 square additionally, and they're guarding this h7 square. But I think I like queen f5 first. But it definitely could be queen c2. This is a little tricky. All right, queen f5, best move, right? You want to triple up. You also want to have some defenders in place. Rook e7. I believe I can just move my own rook to f7. We're just going to get in the way. Rook takes. Don't want to play king takes because then Well, actually, no, we definitely don't want to play king takes because rook f6 is going to put us in an unwanted fork. So let's go with queen takes. All right, we reached the end of our puzzle. All right, let's go back 1 second. Right here, this is what I was talking about. After queen takes, we are going to play bishop back, and after this h5 push, like I said, rook f5. I don't know if you guys remember me calculating this before, but after rook f5, this queen has to move, and then we're going to get to take this piece here. If they take back, we take back, and then if they want to take our own piece, that's perfectly fine because remember, we won that knight in the very beginning by taking back. So we're up a piece the whole game. In the actual variation, they took back, and then we just saw this. This is about playing. A lot of times puzzles test for this. Playing solid moves that don't allow you to lose your advantage, get into some trouble. All right, we reached 2200. I think we're gonna do one more puzzle here. We've got queen takes b3. Did they take anything? No, they didn't. I'm just used to thinking that from our last puzzle. Again, let's do our material analysis. Pawns are equal here. Of course, the material is not equal, though. It looks like I'm down in exchange as black, and my knight on b2 is in a bit of trouble, attacked by 2 pieces. Doesn't have any defenders anymore, especially after this queen b3 cut off my queen from defending it like she was last move. But now queen b3 cuts that off. My rook on a8 isn't a great piece. Hopefully, if it was a real game, I would work to improve it. But this is a puzzle that we're dealing with, so I know I do have some sort of play here. All right, so first thing I'm looking at, if I play, I notice the position of these rooks and my bishop. So I'm looking at bishop d3 primarily. Am I going to play bishop d3 now, or am I going to play bishop d3 later? So first, let's take a look. Queen takes b3. It looks like knight takes b3 happens back. Obviously they're going to want to take back their queen. Bishop d3, I'm attacking, those 2 rooks. I've got a bit of a fork there. Is there any way for them to get out of it? I don't believe so. I'm going to take either of the rooks, allow my knight to escape. Or, my knight is already attacking this rook. I don't know why I, failed to notice that originally. But queen b3, what's the problem with just queen takes b3, knight takes b3, and then knight takes c4? Feel like I'm missing something, but that looks pretty accurate. This is a free rook that we've got here, right? Everything is going to be protected. I believe so. Let's take this rook. All right, we've got our success. Knight takes c4. So that I guess, like I said, guys, in the beginning of this video, we had some, I would say, more challenging puzzles. The first 2, and this one seems like a bit of an easier one. That's just what LiChess likes to do. They spice it up a bit. But knight takes c4, great move. All right, this is going to be our last puzzle just because otherwise the video would run out of time. 3 puzzles, I think that is, the perfect amount. But I just want to reiterate, right? I think it's a really good strategy. At least it works for me. I don't see why you wouldn't want to try it out, especially during this time when you're doing a lot of puzzles. When you get into a puzzle, you're thrown into that position. It's not like a real game where you're used to the position, you know all the workings of it, you already have tactics in mind. Take a minute or two, assess the position, look at the material, look at the placement of your pieces, look at what's hanging, right? I went a little too fast on this puzzle. Originally, I didn't even realize this rook is hanging, right? Maybe I would have gotten it wrong and played bishop d3. I took that extra second, saw the rook was hanging. Always, always, always assess these puzzles before you do them. I promise you it will help your puzzle ratings go up. Now I'm at 2214, feeling good. But that is the end of this puzzle video for today, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.